First of all, I would like to thank again Remax New Orleans, Mr. Richard Huge, for buying our lunch today. Thank you, Richard. Very generous. Also, I want to welcome our guests today. These are members of the local chapter or area. Also, we have Jackson. Jackson, this came all the way from Jackson.
Yeah, all the way.
Wow. So we've got some seats on the distinguished guests in the back of the room here counted down. So welcome, guys. They're all here to learn about what you guys are learning, which is Site to Do Business. Now, some of you are familiar with Site to Do Business. You've used it before. Some of you are seeing this for the very first time. What I would recommend is we're recording this. It's being recorded, right, Amy? Don't try to follow along. I'm going to go pretty fast. Okay. Bo's going to navigate. I'm going to help him go through it. But first thing I'm going to do is we got some brand new tools as of this year that have just been introduced. So I'm going to introduce those new tools first, and then we're going to get into the meat of Site to Do Business, which is the mapping technology, because there's some new cool stuff there too. So what Bo has, Bo's logged in as me. This is my site. And we've got, this is what we call our dashboard. So in the dashboard, we've got Esri tools. We're going to spend most of our time right here, which is the site mapping. This is the game changer right here. This is Market Insights, formerly known as Reese Reports. So one of the things that we've done at CCIM that I'm most excited about in 30 years of being at CCIM is we now have cutting edge supply data that competes with anybody out there. Reese was purchased by Moody's Analytics. And so this is a new tool we've got. So let's just do an analysis. We're in New Orleans. Let's look at a project in New Orleans. Somebody give me a property sector. First one answers wins. What do you want to analyze in New Orleans? Multifamily? All right, so Bo, click multifamily. Let's click apartments. Let's scroll down. Let's select New Orleans. So it's all alphabetical. So there's a drop-down menu. We've got most major markets. Here's New Orleans. Now click submarkets. What submarket do we want to analyze? You guys tell me. CBD. CBD. Let's look at Central New Orleans right here at the top. Okay. Now let's click the, and there, by the way, there's submarket maps. You can open those up if you want to see what submarkets we're talking about. To find your submarket. And these are submarket maps all over the United States. It takes a minute to load. You can zoom into your particular market area. All right, so let's go back. All right, now let's talk about time period. So click the drop-down menu. Let's just do yearly, but you can do monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Let's do yearly. Now you click what type of report. Let's do both. Let's do both Excel and PDF. Location information. You can actually type in a location, a specific address if you're doing a comp report. Let's skip that for now. And let's click download. Now, while this is downloading, for CCIMs, you get 4 free market reports a year. So I'm burning some of mine right now, but I know Carol Campbell and she'll read lovely. Right? But for CCIMs, you get 4 free of these reports that I'm about to run a year. And then you can buy more for $50. But let me tell you, $50 is a lot cheaper than other subscriptions that remain nameless. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? You guys probably buy some of these. So Bo is opened up. I'm using Chrome. By the way, here's an advice. If you're using Site to Do Business, use Google Chrome. It works best. It gets a little glitchy with Internet Explorer and others. So I would use Chrome. Okay, so Bo, let's open up the PDF report at the bottom here. So this is what the reports look like. It's going to give you a map of the report. This is how many pages? This 25 pages of data. So let's just scroll down and show some of the things that are here. So it's going to give you a executive briefing about asking rents, vacancy rates, submarket overview, asking and effective rents, competitive inventory. This is more of a high-level summary. Keep scrolling down. So next it's going to give you different graphs and information about the number of properties by rent level, by rent growth, by age of property when they were built. he's going to scroll down through for the click. You get a feel of what this looks like. Here's asking growth rate trends, quarterly growth rate trends, submarket vacancy details, and so on. You get a picture here of all the data that's there. It shows you New Orleans against the greater New Orleans area against the submarket, how rents compare, New Orleans being red, central New Orleans being blue, asking rent changes based on number of bedrooms. Here's a unit mix details, new studio, 1 bedroom, 2, 3 bedrooms. Here's your inventory by building age. He's only on page 11. There's 25 pages of data here. All right, so hopefully you get the picture of what's there. So I'm not gonna, let's go to the spreadsheet now and show, that spreadsheet is something totally different. So if you're really more into numbers and you wanna do historical analysis, you can, oh, no, it's already downloaded.
I'm gonna have to reshare.
Didn't work?
No, I'm just going to have to.
What happened? So as he's,
It downloaded.
where did it go? As he's pulling that up, so what the spreadsheet will show is historic data. Historic data. You're gonna burn another one of my reports to run it, aren't you?
Nope. Nope.
What happened? It just kicked off?
It's freezing up on me a little bit.
Did we lose the website too?
Nope. We're still there.
All right. Anyway, the spreadsheet, go ahead and run it over. Let's do a different.
Yeah.
There it is, apartment report. All right, you just saved me $50. I'll have to run it over. All right, so there's a lot of information here. There's market trends. Are we sharing, Amy? Everybody online can see it. All right, so there's market trends. There's submarket trends. Let's go to submarket trends. This is the one I use a lot. So this is submarket trends. So I know this is kind of hard to see because it's so far away, but we've got apartment sectors. We've got what year? So going all the way back to 1990. The inventory each year, you can see the changes, how many units were delivered each year, the vacancy rate by year, the vacant stock, occupied stock, net absorption, asking rent change, effective rent change, and so on. It shows you your gross revenue per unit. This is historic data all the way back to 1990, and it's got current, plus it does a forecast all the way out to 2031. Now, I'm not going to rely a lot on data that's forecasted in 2031, but it's great historic data, and it is forecasted if you want to see it. If you go to click on submarket class cut tab. Submarket class cut. This shows you additional information about absorption and vacancy, occupied stock. Keep going to the right. It's got more data. You guys have a sense of what's all here. Just a ton of information that you can get for each specific submarket. Here's what class cut shows you. Now, if you want to know about office employment, we've been talking about that on our 102 class here. Employment, total employment. It's going to show you industrial employment and employment changes. And it also does forecast. Now, this is from Moody's Analytics, which is globally recognized as a market leader in research. Okay. So what do you guys think? Based on seeing this for the first time. Is this something you can use at CCI? I'm telling you, this is a game changer. We have never, Carl and Richard can tell you, we've never had this level of supply data. Sector business has always been great on the demand side. We've always been lacking on the supply side. This is the first time we've had it. I'm extraordinarily excited about it. Comments, questions, thoughts? Yes, Carl.
The only problem for some of us here is in tertiary marketplace, they don't have data yet. But they did buy tablets and supposedly, might know more, shed more light on that part, is that the tertiary market will start to be.
They are being added by.
As they gather the data.
You're correct. I think it varies by property type. I spend most of my time in the office sector. And nationwide, I believe it's 130 to 140 office markets they've already loaded. They're adding more all the time. You're right. It's not in every tertiary market. It may take a while, but for major markets, it's definitely. I know Alexandria is in here. New Orleans, obviously. I'm sure Baton Rouge is in here. Shreveport is probably in here. I can check.
They've increased it already.
Yeah. I know we have a student from, Joe's from Alexandria, so I know that's in here because I checked. All right, so let's go back then to site to business. We're getting kicked out again?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go, you can close, you can go back, click the back button, top left, right? Yeah, I know you can't see my laser. Click the back button. All right, so now he's back to the dashboard. That's Market Insights Report. Everybody cool with that? Great takeaway tool. All right. We've got Instant Insights. If you click Instant Insights, so here, and we're, by the way, guys, in our 102 class, we're going to be using this. We've already learned about some of this. Click on demographic reports. Let's see what's there. So here you can compare 2 or 3 MSA side by side. Let's do that. Let's compare 2 real quick. You guys throw some at me. What are we going to compare? Don't be shy. Denver and Dallas. Okay, so it's all alphabetical. So just find Denver.
Nope.
Here's Dallas, and then Denver. All right, click send. Takes it a minute. What we're going to do is a quick side-by-side comparison. You can compare 2 different markets simultaneously to see how they performed over time. Here they are. Just click the side-by-side comparison PDF. Takes it a minute. Here it is down. It's using Chrome, so everything loads at the bottom. Here's what that report looks like. It shows you a map, and it gives you a summary of population, total population, population change, households, how much is urban, average age, population density, et cetera, income levels, median household income.
Where are you in the site now?
Go back. You can go back to site to business. There you go. So we're right here, Instant
Thank you.
Insights.
Okay.
All right, click. Let's see what else is in Instant Insights. You can close this one, Bo. You can close. Yeah. Okay. So on. Yeah, you can close that one. Now let's look at labor reports. Let's look at employment trends. This one uses monthly data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So let's look at New Orleans. Let's find New Orleans here. Every metropolitan area in the United States is here, MSA. So if you go to New Orleans, hit send. These are all brand new tools we just created. Takes it a minute. While that's loading, let's go back to site to business. Let's load the next one too. Go to Instant Insights, and let's also load economic base and shift share. Let's load that too.
New Orleans.
Yeah, let's do New Orleans. So if it's been a while for the CCIMs in the back, what economic based analysis does, you guys tell them. You guys learned that this morning. Tell the CCIMs what you learned today about economic based analysis. Charlie, I'm looking at you. You're on the hot spot because your dad takes you to these.
I had a completely merit-based scholarship. No, they had to give me a different one.
Did you know Charlie turned that note? Okay, so help him out. What did we learn today about economic-based multipliers? How can we use
Crystal
that?
ball.
Crystal ball?
What's your crystal ball?
Yeah. How do we use it? Gordon, you know, how do we use economic-based multipliers? And what does it tell us?
It tells us the percentage of a particular industry relative to the national.
Right. It tells us how many basic jobs we have relative to
The national.
national, and most importantly, how do we use it to make forecasts?
What's the
Economic-based multiplier.
yeah, the multiplier.
Yeah. So is that loading, Richard, or Bo, did the earlier one load?
Yeah, we've got employment.
All right, while we're figuring that out, here's employment trends. Let's look at that.
I
We'll come
need
back to
to-
economic based multiplier in a second. So let's blow that one up.
I need to share that instead of the screen.
All right, for those who are online, we're doing some sharing here. All right, can you see that online, Amy? All right, so what this does, this looks at, in this case, New Orleans Metairie MSA, and it looks at the last decade, and it compares it to the US. So we go all the way back to 2013. These are in thousands of jobs. So in New Orleans Metairie, Currently, there are 548,300 jobs, right? And then this column D, this looks at year-over-year changes. If it's positive, it's going to be something other than red. If it's positive at less than 2%, it's going to be yellow. If it's greater than 2%, it's going to be green. If it's negative, it's clearly going to be red. Okay. So if you look at it, you can see the year-over-year changes. So US over the last 10 years has grown at 1.1%. New Orleans Metairie, what do you see? It's actually declined, right? If you look at standard deviation, you guys have learned what that is. What is standard deviation? What is it, Richard?
It's a disparity from the mean.
You got it. Disparity from the average, a higher standard deviation, more variability. And you can see it in the numbers. And then you can also graph year-over-year changes on the right. US is the blue. New Orleans in this case is the red, right? And you can see it pretty much mirrors the US. It underperformed from 2015, 16, and 17. It went down with the pandemic. It's come back up, but not as strong. Now, if you scroll back below this, this gives you the monthly changes. So keep in mind, this is updated every month. So if you want to see what's happening in 2022, the BLS has reported data through February. So if you compare it, how is New Orleans compared to the US in each month? Well, here's some good news. We're going to take away good news. In New Orleans, in February, they had stronger job growth than the nation. How about that? Yeah. So you can see what these changes are going forward. Any questions on this one? All right, we can close that one now. Let's go back, see if our EBM is loaded.
Yep.
It has. All right. So Ed Gordon, he was explaining to us how to use EBM. So let's pull that back up. Now we're sharing this. All right. So if you go to current year EBM tab, so you picked a base year and EBM year. We'll come back to those in a moment. So as of today, there's a lot of data here. But what an economic based multiplier is, let's use the super sector example. So it tells us that we have total national employment here. Here's my total local employment. Here's my basic employment. All right. Tosh Finn, you learned what a basic job was. Tell our guests what these we're going to round it, 65,000 jobs mean in New Orleans.
So that means these jobs are bringing in outside money, be that outside of the metro area, can from the state, can from internationally.
Yeah, so Tosh Finn is exactly, these are the dollars, these are the jobs that bring dollars in from outside of New Orleans, Metairie, into the local market. And then what happens to them?
It gets circulated.
It gets circulated to grow non-basic jobs, right? So these are the important jobs we're going to start tracking. Now the multiplier of 5.61, now Gordon, I'm going to pick back up with you. So you were telling our CCIM buddies in the back there what that 5.61 means. What does that mean?
So it's the,
For every one basic job I had in New Orleans, how many total jobs am I creating?
461.
Well, I'm creating a total of 5.61, right? That's the one basic job I just added, plus another 4.61 non-basic jobs.
Right.
Now, can we do some forecasting with that?
Yes.
Absolutely, we can. So here's all the math for us right here. Okay, Bo, go to Shift Share Analytics right next door. Now, we also learned about Shift Share. So Shift Share, we just learned about that, right? Well, we're just starting to learn about it. We're just introducing it. So we're heading there in class. But what we learned about it is we've got national growth component, we've got industry mix component, and we got a regional shift component, right? This helps to explain the changes in jobs, and I don't know what your base year you used.
17.
So you used 2017 to 2021. So over that time period, the fact that New Orleans is in the national US, the US contributed 2,950 job growth between 2017 and 2021. Because of the industry mix, think of this as the diversity of your economy. That actually had a negative because of leisure hospitality. And I can tell you this is COVID, right? New Orleans, I have to go back and look, but I'm sure that hit on the chin with COVID, right? The tourism dropped off, everybody could travel. That's what's going on there. If you look at the regional shift, that tells you that you lost another 60,000 jobs in that time period because of the competitiveness of your industries, right? So the biggest loss there have been 23,000, once again, in leisure hospitality. So COVID was tough on that sector, and it's less competitive than other other areas nationwide is what it's telling me. Here we've got basic employees. You can see the biggest number of basic, one of the biggest. Trade transportation is the biggest. Leisure hospitality is number 2. And based on your knowledge of New Orleans, does that seem right? I'm seeing heads nodded. Okay, so there's a tool for EBM and shift share. So we can close that one. All these are brand new tools we've just added. You're the first class to actually use this in class with the new 102 materials. So we can close that. Let's go back to Site to Business. There's more good stuff. We can close that one. Let's go back. All right, so we're back to our dashboard.
Mark, every time you generate one of these reports, that's a one. So
No.
you get 4, or you're talking about
No,
printing?
all, what I was talking about is right here. So there are two areas, actually 3 areas where you have a limited number of reports. The most limited is going to be your market insights. You're a CCI and you get 4 free reports a year, and then you can buy extras for $50 a pop. Okay. If you are a CCI candidate, how many are candidates? That means you pay dues. If you're a candidate, you get 2 free reports a year, and then you can buy them for $50 for additional. That's a bargain, by the way. That's a steep discount for when you go out and get it on your own. If you are not a candidate or a CCIM, then you can buy them, but it costs, I think it's $60 a report. Now, the comps, we didn't get into comps, but there's also comps. You don't get any free comps because it's going to give you a comprehensive sales or lease comp based on your specific property. You can set the parameters. That costs $75 per report for comps. And you don't get any free. That's a discounted price, by the way. It's very detailed information. All right, does that answer your question on, and everything that you have limited, I'm going to go through. That's the first one. All right, concierge professional. So our team at CCI and Tech, if you want to actually hire them to do some of this, you can use a concierge service and they'll do these things for you. They're a great resource. You've got Carol Campbell, Ben Wilson, and their team. They can do this for you, right? If you're too busy or want some help. Okay, let's go back. Next is CREPI. CREPI stands for the Commercial Real Estate Property Index. So we just, in conjunction with our national economist, we have created, and our economist is KC Conway, right? He's a nationally known economist that does work for us at CCI. What we've done is we've created 10 indices that use, if you scroll down, it should explain what they are. Here are the 10 economic indicators that we've combined, and we update them on a quarterly basis. You can see what they are: consumer confidence index, business confidence index, the spread, the yield curve spread. We took these variable indicators, we've tied them back to fourth quarter of 2019. So pre-pandemic, those combined indicators equal 100. And then what we wanted to do is be the go-to source for the commercial real estate industry of where is the market positioned relative to where it was before. We have back tested this. So you see this big dip right here, right? That was the Great Recession. You see this dip right here. Well, that was the pandemic. This is a good forecasting tool. Now, this is through the fourth quarter. We haven't updated it as the first quarter data yet. But as far as the index goes, you can see that we had a spike coming out of the pandemic. It's slowed down now. And what's driving that is a lot of uncertainty, right? What are some of the uncertain things we have going on in the economy right now? Inflation is running red hot. So inflation is creating uncertainty. What else? You have supply chain issues. This was done before the Ukraine-Russia conflict, but that's going to obviously create uncertainty, right? There's labor shortages that are creating uncertainty. So we wanted to measure that CCIs can use for their clients in making forecasts to be the go-to source or an index that's used for all commercial real estate, not just CCI. So that's what CREPI is. There's a video if you want to watch more about it, about what it is. Okay, next, Database USA. Let's go ahead and go to Database USA. So Database USA, this is, if you ever want to do a very specific business search, you want to do a prospect, let's just play with it. Type in Starbucks.
Oh, you want me to go back?
Yeah, let's go back. Type in Starbucks. in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you have a site that's perfect for a Starbucks, you want to find out, who you should be talking to. You have to type that in the city. Yeah. Click search. Now, here's all your choices. Let's click one of the ones here. All right, so this is the Starbucks located at 7700 Maple Street. It's got a phone number. Denise Jones is the manager of that Starbucks. There's a phone number. Let's see. Here's your SIC and AICS codes right up here at the top right. There's 17 employees at this location. They do annual revenue of $1,106,000. The company was established in 71. Let's see. Here's their competitors. If you ever want a list of competitors, and maybe this is not a good site for Starbucks, but there are some other potential companies you want to talk to. That's who you can go to. You can click their links. It shows when they're open. So a lot of good information here. Oftentimes it will give you not only the phone number, but the email address of the decision makers. So it's a great prospecting tool if you want to use that. There's her email right there, D. Jones. Yes.
How accurate is the contact information? Meaning, if I were to reach out to Miss Denise Jones, is this software accurate to where she is the correct decision?
It's a good question. I use this in my business. My leasing agents use this. I make sure they use this, and they've reported back to me that it's about somewhere between 80 and 90% accurate. Nothing's ever 100%. Things change, right? But it's as good as I can find. Anybody use this?
So
You
if
wanna
we were
comment on that?
relating this to like a CoStar, like when you go in to see the tenants,
Uh-huh.
that's not always very accurate, but so this is more accurate.
I found this to be, like I say, based on the feedback I'm getting, because I'm not making these calls. My analysts are doing that, my leasing agents. They're reporting back, it's about 80 to 85, call it % accurate. It's not bad, right? Not bad.
We use it and it's
What do you think?
accurate enough to make it well
If
worth
the
it.
email gets rejected, then I know.
Who drove, your guys use this?
No.
No? Will they?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's go back.
Back to the
Yeah,
dashboard.
let's go back to the dashboard. All right, so that's database. Next is data links. These are all new tools, by the way. Data links. Data links is just think of this as a encyclopedia of links. And we're going to continue to add to this. So if you want economic resource links, supply chain links, housing links, these are all hot links to websites that you can go out and look. Okay, travel, Esri, Redshoe, that's our economist, Casey Conway. All right, we're going to continue to add to this list. And by the way, they're going to, I know Carol's team is working on, if you've got a site that you really like and you want to share with others, let them know about it, right? And that will be coming, where you can add a request to add more data or share it. So we can go back. That's data links. Flood maps. This has been there for a while. If you've not seen it, let's just review it. Somebody give me an address that maybe has some flood issues that you know about. Anywhere. Okay. 818 Gravier. Who in the world lives there? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My French is off a little bit. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and run the report. We'll see what that tells us. So this is a, there you go. This is a, what is it telling me?
It's out.
Oh, click flood zones on the top right. Click top right. There you go. Oh, who said all of them?
I tried.
So if you ever want to, that's an important thing to know, right? You're researching a site. For the record, Richard, I did not pick that address. Just so you know.
Well, you can have to shut up and get out.
I feel like when I get home tonight, my bags are gonna be able to see. Picked through by some of your neighbors. All right, so here you go. All right, thanks, Bo. We have no place to go now. All right, pictometry. Okay, this is the next one. You only have so many views. I believe you start with 500 views a year. Everybody gets those. Pictometry. if you ever want to do a high imagery oblique aerial and you don't want to spend the money to fly a site, somebody give me another address. Give me their office address. Anybody?
810 Union.
810 Union, okay, and that's New Orleans. All right, so here's what you need to know about pictometry. It's going to give you an oblique aerial. If you zoom out, that's a credit. If you rotate, that's a credit. If you zoom in, that's a credit. You get 500 of these clicks.
Oh, Lord.
So let's not go too crazy with my clicks here, though. But you can see it's pretty high imagery resolution. It's oblique, aerial like a plane's flying over, and it makes for great presentations in your marketing packages. Okay, I see it. Check. Yeah.
So should we, if affordability wise, should we start to use this other than the mapping tool in ArcGIS and Esri? Because I was using that and I found myself comparing it to Google Maps area.
This will give you a date, I believe, on when it was taken. This was, the most recent was January, February 2022. So it's the most recent you can get. The quality is actually very good, especially in urban areas. It tends to drop off if you're out, in far-flung places. But I know a lot of people that actually use this in their marketing packages. Anybody in the back use them? Yeah. Yeah. And you found it works for you guys? Now, once you burn through these credits, I think you can buy another 500 for $100. That's the way it works. It's pretty cheap, but you get so many free credits. So that's the second major limitation on credits, Richard.
And Mark, what Bo just had with that historical drop down is pretty cool to show growth and progress.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Fly all the way around.
All right, Bo, quit burning my credits, buddy.
I killed it on accident. I think I only got some.
Let's see. So that's some of the new tools. Now there's RealNext Market Edge. Here you can do analytical analysis. You can create a marketing package. Does anybody use? I don't use this myself. Does anybody use this? You want to comment on it?
Which one?
RealNext. And we've got other partner projects that we're adding. So I'm on the CCI Tech Board, and I know Carl was at the Tech Board meeting recently. We're constantly looking for new products, and we're vetting new partner products to add to our site here, and we're pretty particular about what goes in there. So there will be more coming all the time, but we're in that process of evaluating other prospective real estate tools that are out there that would benefit CCIS. Okay, so that's on the dashboard. What's new? There's some new stuff actually in the mapping side as well. I want to show you. So let's go ahead and go there. So what Bo's going to click is right here, Business Analyst. This is the workhorse of Site 2 Business. By the way, for the students in 102, this is where we're going to be working our case studies mostly off of this map that we're going to right now. So once you click it, you go to Maps at the top. Bo click Maps at the top. You're going to have a map of the U.S. So there's, let me just show you how you can navigate. So the first thing to know is you can type in an address or a location right here at the top. So let's just type in, what's our course location? Let's just type in this building. You may know the address here. Say it again. 601 Poitras. We'll use this as our location. Y.
Oh, you're not in Kentucky.
All right, here's 601 Poitras. Now, once you place the pin, now you have to create a site. We're a geography-based business. You need to know your geography. So we're going to call that the trade area. So we're in an office. What's our trade area for this office? Well, you've got different choices. So when Bo clicks create site, the default is 135 mile radii. So Bo clicks 135 mile and clicks apply. It's going to automatically zoom out to the 135 mile radius. All right, we'll do other examples. But while Bo's here, if you want to know just high level what's going on, click infographics, please, Bo. Bo's got an infographic tool that he's pulled up. And if you remember, we've talked about this yesterday in class. One infographic is called Tapestries. Now, up here at the top left, you see where there's a drop-down menu that says Tapestry Profile? If you click that drop-down menu, no, right up here.
Oh, yep, got it.
If you click that, there's all different types of reports. So I'm going to come back to Tapestries, but let's look at some other examples. click any one you want. Population trends, click that one. It's going to give you a different tool that tells you quick summary, what's going on. This is a 1 mile. So in a 1 mile, it tells you the population, household size, how much they spent on mortgage, how many are in each population by generation. Looks like we have mostly millennials here. This is a 1 mile radius, okay? There's a drop-down menu at the top. Let's see what it looks like at 3 miles. You can see how it changes, all right? If you mouse over them, does this one have it? Yeah, so if you mouse over one of the icons, yeah, you can click explore for more if you want to find out more information, okay? Let's go back. So there's dozens of choices here, and you can pick your own favorites by clicking this drop down. Let's go back to tapestries. Because in our class yesterday, we talked about this psychographics, describing a population outside of just pure numbers, right? So it tells me within a 1 mile radius, there are 31.5% are considered metro renters. By the way, if you go up to the top where it says key facts, if you just mouse over those, it's going to open up more information about it. So here's disposable income levels. If you go to education or any of these, it's going to give you more information. Here is, there you go. Here's educational attainment within are we in a 1 mile here?
1 mile.
1 mile. Okay, so now if Bo goes down, here's my tapestries. Now, if you want to know what the heck is a metro renter, so if Bo clicks on metro renters, it's going to open up more information. And then down here at the bottom where it says view full profile, if Bo clicks that, it's going to give you 3 pages of data here. So here is who we are. Here's their neighborhood. There's their socioeconomic traits. Now we're getting away from just pure numbers, but you can start to understand this demographic better within a 1 mile radius. It's going to give you a breakdown by sex, race, ethnicity, income, net worth. Here's what they spend on their household budget. By the way, if you ever see an index, the 100 is the national average. Okay, so if you see an index of housing of 125, that tells you that people in a 1 mile radius, or this demographic, I should say, spend 25% higher than the national average for housing. That's what an index does. So an index always compares to the US average. Tells you their occupational earnings. There's another page of data below that. Tells you their market profile. Where they shop, what kind of newspapers they subscribe to, what TV stations they watch, do they own or do they rent, what is their wealth index, all kind of information.
What part of the site are we in now?
You're in the site called Tapestry.
But above that,
We'll go back. So by the way, if you want to close this, close it on the blue bar, not at the top. If you close it at the very top, it will keep you all the way out. So close the blue bar right there. Yeah, you're good. So what we've done here, Bill, is we've clicked on infographics.
okay.
So once you create a site, you click infographics, and that gets you to where we were. Now, if I want to run a report, click reports, please. Now, when Bo clicks the drop-down menu, we've got dozens of reports, dozens to choose from. Let's just pick one. Let's do, I don't know, what do you guys want to look at? Let's look at housing profile. Housing profile. And you can run either Excel or PDF. Doesn't matter, whichever one you choose. Click run that report. So here's the other one. You get only so many reports a year before you run out of reports and you have to purchase more. So it's based on number of reports. Okay. So here's what they look like. So this gives you within a 1 mile radius. Here's your 2010 census population. Here is what it is currently, most recently 2021. Here's the 2026. You can see this area is already pretty well built out. So it's not growing that much. It is growing, forecasted to grow. It shows you how many people own versus rent. That's tenure. It shows you vacant housing stock in 2010. If you keep scrolling down, there's more current data. This is the 3 mile radius. So it sort of gives you additional information. So it gives you the census 2010, 2021, and it's always going to give you a 5-year forecast. So there's a lot of data here, depending on what property type you want to focus on. I'm an office investor, so Bo's going to close this one. I'm going to look at one called the let's do employment No. No, go on the drop down menu, change it from housing profile. Employment trend, where'd it go? Yeah, take it off housing. Yeah, click the drop down there.
No, that's where I was.
Okay.
It should be,
I'm sorry, go to business summary report. Yeah, there you go. Business summary. This is the one I like to use because it tells me all about jobs. We talked about jobs earlier in class today. So here is 2 pages of data. The first is the old SIC codes. This is the way government classified jobs before NAICS. Remember the North American Industrial Classification, NAICS codes came into being with NAFTA in the late 90s. Well, this first page is the old SIC. So they still characterize jobs that way, but scroll down to the second page, Bo. So here's our NAICS codes. This is the more modern way of doing it. And I'm, as an office investor, I'm focused on this information, finance, insurance, real estate, professional services, and so on. So I want to know, first of all, the number of, scroll up a little bit so I can see the, yeah, I want to know the number of businesses, the number of employees within each of these NAICS code sectors, right? So this is a 1 mile, but that's a 3 mile, but that's a 5 mile. Okay, so it's going to give me, maybe it's reversed, but it's going to give me a lot of information that I want as an office investor to forecast demand for. I need to convert from office workers to square feet of demand. So I'm going to use this. We'll be using this in our office case study, by the way, using the spreadsheet. All right, so that's an example of reports, and there's literally dozens of choices there. So if you go back, if you click the back button, no. Here. Okay, now you can do comparison reports. You can compare 2 sites. We'd have to have a second site, but this is where you can run it. You'd have to build a comparison report. You can run a comparison report, in this case, to the local zip code, the Orleans Parish, the state of Louisiana, and USA. You can see how it compares on median disposable income. What is median again? What does that tell us? Versus average, what is median? Yeah, half or it's a middle number, half or higher, half or lower. And which is better to use if you're focused on incomes, particularly median? Why? Eliminates the outliers. Remember, if Jeff Bezos came into our class, what impact would he have on the average? He would skew it greatly, right? But he wouldn't change the median that much. Okay, so you can do comparison reports. Let's go back. There you can edit the area, you can add photos, you can do options if you want to change the color of the circles, all of that. You can do borders, symbols, you can do all of that. Okay, so I won't spend a whole lot more time on that. Let's go back to edit area. So click edit area right here. Yeah. Now instead of let's say do a drive time. Okay, so the default is 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now if he clicks more options, you can get pretty sophisticated in drive times. Do I want to do drive time away from my facility or toward my facility? Well, it depends. But if I'm attracting customers, I don't care how long it takes them to get home. I care how long it takes them to come to me, right? So let's do toward my facility. Let's click use traffic. Now we can do live traffic right now, or we can do traffic based on typical conditions. Well, let's say traffic on a Monday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning. And it will adjust for traffic patterns. You can get pretty sophisticated with this. All right, click apply. And it's going to reload now based upon traffic estimated time to get to this building on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock.
So it's just any Monday, it's not like a.
Yeah, it doesn't take into account weather. It doesn't take into account road construction that day or a traffic accident. It doesn't take into account. These are averages. Okay, so you can see because we have a river in the middle. Things tend to back up, especially on the southern side of the river. But that's what a typical traffic. The 15 would be the blue areas, 15-minute drive time estimate. Okay, so you've got traffic. If you have pedestrians, let's say you've got a business on Bourbon Street, and most of your customers are walking to your location. Can we test for that? How do we do that? We can do walk time. So let's see what that looks like. So let's say do different walk times. Just click apply. So within 5, 10, and 15 minutes from this location, this is how what your trade areas look like. All right. Now, we can make some other adjustments. We'll be doing that, but let's go ahead and call this good.
But there's no way to track hotel occupancies or anything like that, though. I mean, this is residence, right?
These are, yes, these are where people reside based on their home address. Yes. Right. And, you know, outside of the STAR report, I believe Smith Travel Research, I believe has been purchased by CoStar because they're buying everybody on earth. STAR reports, if you're in the hotel business, anybody in the hotel sector, I believe that's kind of the go-to source for hotel data, but Site View Business really doesn't capture that very well. It will tell you about travel income or travel expenditures, but it tells you travel expenditures based on where people live, not where they travel to. Okay. All right. So we'll just call this good. All right. Next, let's show you some of the some of the information across the top, the blue data. So add data. Add data is a good one. If you ever are looking for information that you don't know where to go find it, click add data, click web maps and layers. Here's one of the new tools. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you right now. It's called hex bins. I'm really excited about this tool. So if you click nationwide hex bins, right there, and click smart mapping, and then go over where it says Alteryx 1 mile hex bins. Click that, please. Some of you probably have never seen this before, and you're about to have an aha moment. All right, so what it does, if you zoom out, so these are little honeycombs called hexagons that are at the 1 mile level. This is the smallest geography we can actually get. And this is based upon data that we purchased from Alteryx. You may have heard, if you go to CCI meetings, you may have heard data we bought from Alteryx. Now, once that's loaded, if you want to go to create maps next at the top, create maps and go to smart map search and let's click get started and browse all variables. And now you've loaded in, a new icon is going to appear called map layers. You see at the top left there. If you click map layers, these are the Alteryx variables. There's 141 of them that we've purchased so far. And you can search for any variable and find a hotspot within a 1 mile area. We've never had the ability to do that type before. So let's just scroll down and see what's there. How about renter occupied? Percent renter occupied. All right, now click apply. You can do up to 5, by the way. So the map reloads with the data. So as Bo, within a 1 mile, the renter occupied units can change. And so as Bo starts filtering them out, the ones that don't match disappear, and the ones that remain have the highest concentration of renter occupied residences. It's a very powerful tool that we're just started using. You will see this on the industrial case study, the brand new industrial case study. We're going to factor for industrial domain. All right, this is hex bins, brand new tools, never existed before. What do you guys think?
What's it called?
It's called hex bin, Hex bin. Hex bins. So this is even smaller than the census block group, which is the smallest geography the government tracks. So we've purchased data now that allows us to do this. So if you really want to zoom into a hotspot, depending on what you're looking for, this is a great tool to do that. Any questions on hex bins? Carl, what do you think about this one?
That's a game changer.
Absolutely. Totally is.
One more time on accessing this?
Yes. So yeah, and Christian, you had a question?
I just was Googling it. Did you say Alteryx, Alteryx?
Yes.
Is that what it's- okay.
Yeah, Alteryx. Now you don't have to find the data, it's already here for you. So we've gone out, we've captured data from Alteryx, which is outside of our contract with Esri, right? And we brought it in with the idea of creating these hex bins. This has been about 2 years in the works. It's been a long process to get it here, but I'm so excited to hear that. Carl's shaking his head, yes. Are you real starting to turn now how you can make money? I know there's one guy in the back, it's already figured out how to use this to make money, right? He's already figured it out. So there was another question. How do you find it? Was that you, Eric?
And just a recap.
Yeah, yeah. So if you go back, you click add data.
Let me go all the way back real quick.
Sure, you can just close it. And by the way, if Bo wants to get rid of this on the shortcut on the right-hand side, these are all your shortcut tools, and I'll take you through there in a second. But if he wants to clear it, just hit clear map, cleans up the map, and clear, goes away. All right, so how you find it, you click add data, web maps and layers, and the choice here are nationwide hex bands, right here. Okay. Now, if somebody wants to know opportunity zones, I'm just making stuff up as I go. How would I find opportunity zones in New Orleans? So, Bo, you can go back here. We're done with hex bands. All right. So when he clicks add data, web maps layers, if you go over here to ArcGIS, now there's different, you can share your content, groups, organization, living atlas, or the biggest encyclopedia of all is ArcGIS. So these are people that have created maps globally, and they've shared them with everybody else. So you can go see what's been created. So let's just type in opportunity zones. There's hundreds of thousands of maps that have been created. So let's say on opportunity zone, New Orleans. Let's see if somebody's already created one.
There is one, there's one for our whole state you can search by address.
Okay, how do you, let's see, would you do Louisiana maybe?
There is a.
Let's search that way. I didn't test this to see if it works, but let's see if one exists.
Opportunity zones.
One in or two?
No results found.
Mark, I think if you go to the federal map, it allows you to drill in anywhere. Nationwide. That federal opportunity zones,
Okay, there you go. Type in federal.
second one down.
We'll see what, I mean, this is kind of like Discovery. Let's see what we find. So where are we now? Peachtree, this is Atlanta.
So it didn't.
Didn't recognize it there.
Mm-mm.
Let's try a different one. Has anybody used Smart Maps or used this ArcGIS before in New Orleans? No. Let's just type in New Orleans and see what's there. All right. So New Orleans, what have they created for us? They got parks here. They've got, let's scroll down. There's a bunch of stuff. There's whatever that sector is. Tech Advantage New Orleans. Here is MBA commercial, New Orleans pipeline report, actual report of leases, homeless and, oh, that's a sad one, homeless and dead. Somebody's mapped that.
You typed in Louisiana Opportunity Zone. I found Louisiana Opportunity Zone map 2018, but it's still an example.
Okay.
So,
There we go. Found it. There we go. Here's your opportunity zones in New Orleans. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Yeah. So once again, if you're unsure about finding something on the map, go to ArcGIS. Chances are somebody's already created it and shared it with everybody else. And if you create something you want to share, you can do that as well by sharing it. Okay, so that's another way of adding data. Another great tool for adding data is if you've got a database, let's say you've got a client who has all their employees' addresses and you want to do commute times for them, right? You can load those addresses, it will plot them on a map and you can determine how far an employee lives from a specific site, right? I see some head shaking back there. They used it that way.
Well,
Business
we've done
way.
that, and we've done it with competitors, where it's give us names, businesses that want to be here.
Right, so one of my former clients had a franchise for Five Guys Burgers and Fries in Northern California and wanted to plot, where the current Five Guys are located, where other competitor locations are located, and do a comparison that way. So you can download a business list, as long as you have the address of that business, you can plot it on this map. All right, that's add data. Let's go ahead and clear this. And right now, what Bo's got up is a satellite image. If he wants to change the map, you go up here to base maps and there's all these choices. I like to start with street maps, but you can do different types of mapping here, okay? Now, if you go to, if Bo goes to the top and says create maps, he's got color-coded maps, he's got smart map search, he's got another business facility search. Let's do color-coded maps, Bo. And let's click browse all variables. So when he clicks browse all variables, this icon, this choice of icons pops up. So let's look at a variable. You guys tell me, what do you want to search for? Jobs. Let's click the briefcase of jobs. Bottom right. There you go. Now, it gives you different jobs. If you don't know what type of jobs, you can search for it in the search bar. What kind of job do you want to search for specifically? Real estate. Let's type in real estate. Okay. So click the labor force. Here's people that work in real estate rental lease. Does that work for you?
Sure.
Let's use that. It's going to pop them up on the map. Now, based on your zoom level, the tighter you zoom, the smaller geography. Each one of these little jigsaw puzzle pieces is what's called a census block group. That's a test question. Small geography available to us. You better all get that right. Census block groups. Now, if he wants to filter the hotspots, how would you go about doing that, do you think, Bo? Go to the bottom left here where it says filter, and he can start to filter out those areas. And now he's got census block groups who have the highest. So if he wants to search for at least, in this case, 86 to a high of 154, this is based on where they live, by the way, right? Where they live. These are our real estate people. There you go. You should start to think about how this you can apply this to make money. What was that? What was that, Big Ron?
He's just jealous you haven't said NAI Lighter Bloomington.
I'm gonna promote the guy that bought me lunch.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, which lunch I haven't eaten yet, by the way, but okay.
The median age.
All right.
That's what I would say.
Okay, I'm gonna stay out of that. Okay, what else can we do on Create Maps? So we can do smart, let's do a smart map search. Smart map search is a great tool because you can do multiple variables. You can do up to 5 variables simultaneously. So let's play with it. So let's see. Let's do education levels. So I'm gonna do people with a bachelor's degree. Okay, so he's got one variable up here in the top. Okay, go back to categories. Let's add a second. Let's do income. Let's do median income, median household income. All right. And then let's go back and let's do, I don't know, let's do health. And let's do dental services. So if you're a dentist, right? You want people that are well educated that use dental services that have median incomes. We can apply. Okay, let's click apply. We got 3 now. Okay, so now you can adjust each one, right? Let's say I want people that make at least 100,000 a year, 100,000 median income. All right, I want at least, and I'm going to do percentage here instead of numbers on bachelor's degree. So right now, Bo's got total. Let's do percentage, and I want people with at least 50% of the population have a bachelor's degree, right? And as far as dental services, I want people that spend, I don't know, we're probably going to, let's go to where we only have one left. So you can keep zooming. So if you're a dentist, well, we went too far. If you're a dentist, where do you want to open your office? Right up here. What do you guys think? To know the area. Now, that's assuming these are the variables you want to go with. You can do up to 5. Very powerful tool, guys. All right, questions on this one?
They all have, yes.
Is that where the dentists are?
That's where the teeth are.
People with good teeth or bad teeth? Okay, so, all right, so we can close this one. Hopefully, as Bo's going through this, you get a sense of how you can start using this information. What do you guys think so far? If you've seen this for the first time? Can you see some value here?
Yes.
Yeah, very powerful. Okay. Have we done everything on defined areas? We've already kind of done Bo, defined areas. Bo's defined an area by location. If you're a development site, you can do latitude, longitude. You've got it on your phone. If you're in a site that has no address, just say the lat long. You can load it in here. You can click find that location by lat long.
My bad.
All right, under select geography. So if you click select geography, you can search by a formal geography. That's a government defined boundary. Another test question, by the way. A formal geography is defined by the government, right? So you can search from the map. So let's just search from the map. Let's look at, I don't know, zip codes. So a map will load up of all the zip codes. Maybe your market area is one or combined zip codes. You can create a customized market that way. All right, so Bo's got 2 or 3 zip codes. There's no substitute for knowing your local market, where demand comes from. All right, let's go back. Now, Bo, none of that works for me. I want to create a polygon. What in the heck is a polygon? We talked about that yesterday in module 2. What is it? Bill, you know what it is. What is it?
And
Your regular configuration, arbitrary configuration.
How many sides does it have to have?
As many, well, at least 3.
At least 3, right? It has to be at least a triangle to close. All right, so what Bo's going to do is he's going to create a polygon. Bo, I'm going to turn you loose so you can create it. So he said polygon, and there's 2 choices. Polygon is a point and click. You move your mouse, you point, it drops a pin. You move it, and it follows your mouse. Or you can do freehand. I'm way too shaky to do freehand. So Bo's following major roads to creating a customized polygon. And now he can run the same reports we were doing earlier, except he's doing it within a specialty submarket he just created through use of a polygon. Another powerful tool. Polygons would be great for roads. I mean, you've got Canal Street. Maybe that's a major divider between demand, bad and Poydras, and from the river to the interstate. Maybe that's a specific polygon. You can definitely do that. All right, any questions on polygons? Hopefully you're getting a sense that there's a lot of flexibility in how you can use this site to analyze anything. All right, what else do we want to show them? Run analysis. Okay, so my friend in the back, I'm sorry, Jake, tell me your name. Jake? So Jake, he's been working on a project with, you said a void analysis, right, Jake?
Yeah, we tried to run it on this one.
Oh, yeah? Didn't work for you?
I mean, it worked, it just.
So
gives you different information.
So there's suitability analysis. So a suitability analysis, think of that as a use looking for a site. I've got a use, I'm looking for a site. I want to look at multiple sites and I want to rank those sites based on suitability. A void is a site looking for a use. Is that what you got going on, Jake? So let's just click, we'll do both. Let's just do both. So on suitability analysis, first of all, we have to create a couple of geographies. So let's just create a couple. So
Do I hit add
let's
or-
just drop a pin and create maybe drop a pin on 2 different areas, create a quick study area, create site. Yeah, we can do that. Let's create a second one, maybe out in Kenner. And you guys can be flexible in how you create these sites. So now that he's got the sites created, he did the drive time there, good. So he's going to start with features on the map, is your choice, yeah. So he's got these 2 features. One is a 5 mile, and one's a 15-minute drive time, click next. And here you can add criteria or you can look at default criteria. So let's just look at retail suitability. That one was preloaded for us. So it's going to give you information about that's already been populated for retail. So let's say each one of these are weighted currently at 15%. Let's say that median household income should be a 20% factor. So what he's going to do is he's going to go to median household income. He's going to change that to 20%. And this is weighting. How important is that criteria? He's going to lock it. If he locks it, it stays at 20%. Let's do retail goods. Bo, let's make that 30% instead of 13. And he's going to lock that. And so notice that the score starts to change based upon how you weight the criteria. So here you can compare 2 sites. All right, and let's assume everything else we're happy with. Everything else is 10%. What is the best site? Well, the best site is this New Bethlehem Church based upon the weighting of the demographics that are there. Right, see how that works? Which site is most suitable? Any questions on that one? Let's do a void analysis. So clear what you got. All right, so under run analysis, if you want to do a void as a site, but you're looking for a use, you're gonna bump into that, right? So Jake, where's your, you mind sharing your location, or you just want to?
It's in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, let's go to Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Bo, you know where Baton Rouge is? I bet you can find it. All right, he found it.
So if we go south and a little bit east.
Jake, because we've got other people listening, do you mind coming on up so they can hear you on the microphone?
So
Do you have an address?
keep going east. It doesn't have. It's just-
That's west.
Are you giving away trade secrets here? Okay.
It's just a little piece of
We have
land.
it listed.
So if we go down,
Proud of it.
we're looking for Starring, where Starring meets with Burbank.
Okay,
So keep going down to the right. So that Gardier Lane right there.
Here, you use my pointer. So.
It's right here.
Yeah, really, the site's like right there.
okay.
So he's gonna drop a pin there. What is your trade area, Jake?
I mean, we've just been using the 510.
Fair enough, okay.
It's right here.
No, further south.
Now he can move that point. So
Yeah.
how would you move it? Just click it,
Right about
move it
there.
where you
Yeah.
want it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So he's gonna create it you said
Yeah,
5
that's
to
a,
15
yeah.
drive time, okay? That's an interesting polygon.
Yeah.
All right, now, he's got that site created. Now you need to set a reference site. In other words, what do you want to compare it to? Is there
Yeah.
another site that what is the use, by the way?
That's really what we're trying to go figure out right now.
Do you
We
think
got
it-
about an
well-
acre, 2 acres of land right there, so we're trying to decide between if it's gonna be treated.
Car wash.
Huh?
Car wash.
Yeah, we can. do
Car
that.
wash. Okay. Well, what area within, so
That's it.
here's what I would do. Now, are people gonna drive 15 minutes to go to a car wash? Let's use car wash as an example.
Yeah.
What's a realistic time you drive to go wash your car? You're gonna drive 15 minutes to go to a car wash?
There's not one in the area. and it's-
But we're in Baton Rouge. Come on.
10 minutes,
10 minutes?
7.28.
Let's go 7 minutes. So if he wants to adjust it to 7 minutes, he can customize it. Right, see what he did? He just changed it. So now we got a 7-minute drive time. That seems more realistic. People aren't gonna drive further than 7 minutes to wash their car, are they? Probably not. Okay, now let's pick another site in Baton Rouge. I don't know Baton Rouge. Where is the site with all the nice cars? That people keep their cars really clean. Carl, what's your address? I know, by the way, Carl, I know it's not by the airport. I had a really bad experience living behind by the airport one night. I think about it, but thank goodness it wasn't my wife, it was my son.
And you didn't call me to find out.
That's true, I did not. Okay,
The nice cars, U Club is
Yeah,
here.
that's all, well, and the country club. it's all-
okay, well, it could be close.
Point for me. Let me see.
U Club's down here. And then
That's it.
the country club's right around here. What?
Like right about here.
Yeah.
No.
How about right there? Somebody that lives on the country club, and we're gonna call that whatever, club site. We're gonna create a site. Let's do equivalent. Let's do a 7-minute drive time there. Bo. Okay, click apply. Now we got 2 sites, okay? So let's select an analysis area. First of all, that's gonna be, what, you called it Gardier?
Yep.
Okay, no. Only click the analysis. Okay, click apply. Now the reference area, you're referencing it against your target, where you think is better. Does that make sense? So he just created the country club site, click apply. All right, now click next. You've got your 2 sites in place. Now you can create a custom list. Now, I bet we can find car wash if you search for it. Car washes. Wash, yeah. Car wash. Automobile washing and polishing, right there. There you go. Click run analysis. And click full results. So what this is going to say is, how does my subject area that I'm trying to find, if this is good use for a car wash, how does it compare where an area I already know this is a pretty good location? And this is especially helpful if you think, I've got an idea, I think it will work. How does it
Normally
compare
take that
to
long?
something I know works? Does that make sense? Takes it a minute to load because it's going to give you a lot of information here. While this is, thank you. We may find you a solution here.
Well, that's it, yeah, so we've done this.
Hey, in the room, in the deal.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. So have you done this kind of analysis before, like this?
That's what we did. I was just looking more to see if we could do something where it gives you just an industry mix of what you're looking at and what's missing rather than going after a specific industry.
Well, you can always obviously do a business list, and this full report will give you all the business.
Yep, yeah, and it gives you specific names too.
Right. It takes a minute to compile all this data. So while this is loading, we've covered a lot of ground over the last hour or so. Are there questions about anything we've covered thus far? Yes, Mr. Landreau.
Can I make a commercial?
Yeah, come on up.
No,
Come on up.
I don't need to stand up, but everybody in here, I think, is probably a candidate. I don't know how many of you belong to CCIM as a candidate. It's roughly $600 a year, $700 a year. If you become a candidate and join the institute for that, everything Mark just showed you, you get free. Just like a designated. One deal, pay for it. So, just something to think about.
Another way, maybe another way of asking that question, Carl.
Don't take your wife or your girlfriend out to eat twice and you're done. Okay.
Or 7 times if you live in Kentucky.
Have you found $600 of value just by what I've gone through? Yes. Hopefully you have. Right. This is the best bargain out there. So this is taking a minute to download. I don't want to take more time on that. This is going to give a full blown report of demographics and businesses and all of that. Question?
Just
Yes,
while
sir.
we're waiting, so there's this report I've been looking into. It's expensive for me to get on my own, but it's Revista.
Revista, okay.
Is there any potential that you can get that information on the CCIM?
Potentially, yeah, Revista.
It's Revista. I just kind of was
Let me
looking
write
at
that down.
it.
How do you spell it?
Revista.
Okay. Tell me about what it does.
So basically, so I do the medical office buildings, healthcare space, and it just gives me comparables related to healthcare. So
Is it specific to healthcare?
It's specific to healthcare, so. And I'm still trying to figure out, because I thought I could look like, if I wanted to see like dentists in an area or something, I could look that up on there, but I don't know.
We'll definitely check it out. I'm on the tech board. We're always reviewing new products all the time. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. Sure. Well, any other question? Oh, it finally ran.
No, it didn't. I just minimized the table.
The recording of this will be accessed how?
That's an Amy question. She just stepped out of the room. We'll find out for you. I am not. I'll be right back with that. Land Cloud.
So anybody use Landglide?
Yeah. We always kept the secret though.
Now the secret's out. We don't keep secrets in CCIM. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe we stressed out the system. But anyway, you saw how we did it, right? So if you've got an idea of a site that you want to search for uses and you've got an idea, you can always test it using that void analysis. Yes, sir.
For this, you have, I think it's in the board analysis where you can find out annual sales of companies. So.
Yes.
QSR,
That was on the business
McDonald's.
list.
Yes, that's the, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
How accurate is that? How, because trying to get that
You know,
type of data.
that information comes from Ezra, and Ezra gets their source from a lot of, I know one of only uses done in red. So how accurate is that? It's not 100%. Nothing here is 100%. But I would think it's pretty reliable. But I wouldn't make decisions only on reported annual sales. That makes sense.
No, it does. It's just looking at that, and then when you're looking at Buxton, what's the?
Yeah. The other one I want to show you is a limited. Was there questions? For Vista Man, okay, we'll check it out. So, well, in our remaining time, I wanted to show you some of the other shortcuts on the right-hand side because there's some other good tools here. So, Bo's got these tools on the right-hand side. This obviously is a pan tool. That's a point tool. This is zoom in or out. This next one down that looks like an upside down L. We're gonna look at a development site. So Bo, we're in Baton Rouge, right? We're still in Baton Rouge. So let's change it to, let's just clear what we got. Let's change our map to aerial and let's find a development site potentially. Yeah, imagery, hybrid, doesn't matter. So let's zoom into a site that looks like it may be prime for development. For the Baton Rouge folks, you can tell me if this would work. All right, so here looked like a site that's about ready to be developed. And we don't know the actual size of that site. Well, Site Your Business can get us pretty close. It's not a survey, it's gonna get us pretty close. We can measure distance or area. So we're gonna measure area. And we're gonna use, let's do acres. And so it's just like the polygon tool. You can click and drag and click and drag until you have the area outline. And you'll see it tells you roughly how big the area is, how many acres for your development. Oh, do you use this for self-storage sometimes?
I use this a lot.
Do you? And you have to double click where you started to finish.
I use this, I get in real tight and I use it to estimate the size of self-storage buildings.
Right.
Like I want the square foot of the building itself.
What Bo just outlined is 46 acres. Now, once again, it's not a survey. It's not 100% precise, but it gets you close enough. Or you can also measure distance between locations. So that's a pretty handy tool. If you want to, if you scroll down below that, the annotate. Oh, you're done. Just click down. Okay, so Bo wants to take a picture of this and send it to his client. So if you go down to, go down right here, click that one. Here you're going to add an annotation. So he's going to say, this is my development site or whatever he wants to put in it. Click, add the map. And he could change the font, the colors, all of that, right? And now he's got, he wants to send this to his client. He wants to take a screen capture of it after he's finished monkeying with it. All right, so we already know what the clear tool is. We're going to skip over that. Next, this is shared to ArcGIS. So the maps we pulled down earlier that are in ArcGIS that other people have created, this is how you do it. You can share it with the world. Okay, let's go below that. Here's where you create a PDF or image. So click that, please. Now here you can load in your logo, your company name. So your own research department, even if you're one person, you have your own research department. So we're gonna title this Bo's site, and this is for Mrs. Jane Smith. Whatever, you can customize it to your client, right? And it's got your logo on it. Right now, it's got Esri logo, but it's really easy, and I'll show you how to put your own logos in here. Click Create PDF. It takes it a few seconds for the PDF to load. And then you've got a high quality PDF image you could put an email to your client. Okay. If you want to do traffic layers where that's loading, and you could have added a ledge in there. So now it's ready. The PDF is ready. Okay. So you can add traffic layers. So if you click on it, you can do traffic counts. It's probably not one right here, apparently. So you have to zoom out. Zoom out where we can see some traffic. There we go. So if you want to look at areas that have at least, and it's probably easier to see this one not on the aerial, but on the street maps. So traffic counts are going to show up as dots on the map. Let's zoom out a little bit more. There's one down here. There we go. So you start to see dots on the map. So if you're looking for sites that have a minimum of 10,000 cars a day. You can dial in for that. And hit. So now these are the roads, this highway, whatever that is, highway 30. That's going to have at least 10,000 cars a day. If you mouse over it, it tells you how many cars per day. So, and when the traffic count was taken. So this one's fairly recent, 2020, there were 12,780 cars a day. Here's my advice on traffic counts. If you're doing traffic counts and that's a critical piece of your decision, this is a good start, but don't make this your finish. Use your local state Department of Transportation. Louisiana has one, every state has one. Right? Use that data and compare it. A lot of municipalities also have their traffic counts. They're probably getting more current. This is a good start. Don't only rely on site visits. Is my advice there. Okay. What else can we show them? Show them, Bo. Let me show them how to create their own logos. So go to the little gearbox at the very top. Yes.
Real quick,
Uh-huh.
for parishes that do not have, well, I'm speaking about Louisiana. For parishes that do not have their tax assessor mapping free online, where you can go and trace the outline of a parcel or a tract to determine your site size.
Right.
This would then take place because you have access to this without having to go pay the parish assessor to use their database, you know, for.
Yes, if somebody's already done it. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's the caveat. Somebody has already had to have done that work and shared it with everybody else. And where do you find that? You go to,
Well, no, we're.
But if you can measure, like you can measure a site.
Where Bo measured that.
Oh, yeah.
Area.
Yeah.
That's something that I do countless times a week.
Okay.
As a developer, and for the realtors in here, that is a great way for you guys to help out your clients. Because I can take that mapping of the area and bring it to my civil engineer, and then we can then predict where DOTD is going to force us to put our driveway and or force us where to put our detention pond.
Cool.
So it's a very.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Joe. So let me show you the final thing that we're going to call it good. So you can do different countries here. We teach globally, right? So we teach in Poland, for example. We can pull up Poland data. We can change the data source, the default units, you know, from miles to kilometers or whatever. We can change the maps, the streets, the default maps, the pin symbol. You can customize this to whatever you work. If you click reports, click the drop down reports. Here, overall settings, I believe. Here you can add your logo. It has to be a GIF or a PNG file, but you can actually add your logo. And now, instead of, these are some of my logos, instead of Esri, you can put your own company logo there. So every time a report's generated, it's got your logo. It's your report. It's from you, not from Esri. If that makes sense. Okay, so you can get very customized on how it looks. It's totally flexible. And here's the thing about site to business. The more you use it, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you use it. If after class this week you forget about it, put it away, you're missing a very valuable tool that's going to help you in your business in conjunction with what we're learning this week. Yes, Carl. Last word.
Tell them about, what do you call, online learning, scientific business, where they have all the little learning center.
Oh, yeah. Good. Thank you, Carl. So if we go back home. Here we go. Thank you for reminding me to do that. So at the very top, here's news, webinars. Here's upcoming webinars. These are online. That's what Carl was talking about. There's one coming up on April 14th, new site to business tools.
And these are all recorded
These are
webinars that you
recorded
can.
webinars. If you go to How Do I, this is a great tool. How do I do something? If you don't know how to do it, you can click it, and there's usually about a 5-minute recorded video that has been created on telling you precisely how they do it. It's already recorded for you. There's resources. There's general resources and classroom resources. So here's different resources that you can go grab that are out there. And if all else fails, you can click Contact Us. Here's the phone number. They're good about getting back to you. They're Central Time Zone, so 8 to 5 is what their office hours are. Very helpful group headed by one of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet, named Carol Campbell and her team. Here's training. If you want to, Amy, if you want to have the chapter do some specialized training, you can contact them at support@stb.com. I'm sure they would be happy to do training for the Louisiana chapter. And they'll spend a whole day. I've spent a little over an hour. They'll spend a whole day going deep into this. Okay. Here's sales information, etc. So a lot of tools here. All right, questions? What do you think? I threw a lot at you in the last hour 20. You have a better feel for it now? And you use, this is something you're going to want to use after class. Hopefully everybody says yes.
I had to go in there and use it.
Yeah, that's the same thing. If you don't use it,